Hello everyone. Today we will start our fourth unit, that is the concurrency control and the advanced database. So first we will discuss some concurrency controls while we are performing the data transaction in the database. So concurrency control is an important concept of database management systems which is used to address the conflict with the concurrent address or modifications of data that can occur with the multi-user systems. This systems helps to coordinate the multiple transactions executing simultaneously by preserving the data integrity. So concurrency control ensure that the correct results for the concurrent operations are generated while getting those results as quickly as possible. So first we will discuss why the needs of the concurrency control, why it is the important. So needs of the concurrency controls, like the concurrency control is the important in the DBMS to achieve the simultaneous executions or the parallel executions of the transactions. And this can be done by executing the few transactions of one transaction then next, and the process is going on till the executions of the transactions get completed. So whenever this concurrency control is performing inside the database management systems, there is some problems. Okay, so these are the lost of the lost problem. Problems is mentioned over here. That is the lost of the update problems. So what is this problems we discuss now? List of the first, we will take the list of the update problems. That is the lost update problems occurs when two or more transactions are modifying the values of the same data item simultaneously. Okay. So this is the final value of data items that can be decided by the transactions which committed at the last among those transactions. So already we have covered these things. Now, next one problem is the temporary update or the dirty bit problems. So the temporary update or database temporary updates problems is known as the dirty problems, and it occurs when one transaction permitted to read the data items that is modified by the uncommitted transactions, and the problems occur when the uncommitted transaction decided to roll back. So, suppose take one example that if the transaction T1 modified the data item P, and the transaction T2 is allowed to read the value of the same variable P as the modified by T1 before T1 committed. So at this time, dirty read operations occur. The read operations which performed by the T2 is called as a read operations. So this is second one, that is a temporary update or the dirty bit, and third one is the incorrect summary problems. Okay. So incorrect summary problems, like when the one transactions perform the aggregate functions on the several data items, and other transactions are updating those data at that times, the incorrect summary problems will occur. And incorrect summary issues occurred when one transactions take the summary over the values of all the instance of repeated data items, and second transactions update few instance of that specific data items. So in these situations, the result summary does not reflect the correct result. So these are the few problems, major problems related with the concurrency, concurrent operations in the database transactions. That is the lost update, then temporary update, that is the dirty bit. This is also called a non-repeatable read. It is occur when the second transaction is trying to access the same row several times and read the different data at each times. So why the but why it is we, because of these problems we cannot avoid to use of these concurrent operations, because there is some reasons why we need to use this concurrency control method. Okay, so the reason for using the concurrency control method is to apply the isolations to the mutual exclusion between the conflicting transaction. So we need some control whenever we are performing some parallel operations on concurrent operations regarding the database. We need some control, and this is called as the concurrency control. So why we use the using the concurrency control? Reasons behind this, that to apply the isolations to the mutual exclusions between the conflicting transactions, to resolve the read write and write write conflict issues, to prevent the database consistency, through the consultant constantly preserving the executions of sections. The systems needs to control the interactions among the concurrent transactions, and this control is achieved using the concurrent scheme. So concurrency controls nothing but it is the helps or to use the seriality. Okay, it support the seriality problems. So, for example, assume that two peoples who go to the electronics shop at the same times to buy a movie ticket for the same movie at the same show time. Okay. However, there is only one seat left in for the movie shows in the particular theaters. Without concurrency control, it is possible that both the moviegoers will end up the purchasing a ticket. However, concurrency control method does not allow this to happen. Both the goers can still access informations written the movie sitting database. But the concurrency control only provided ticket to the buyers who has completed the transaction process first. So this way it will resolve the problems. So this concurrency controls having different protocols. How this concurrency control will works? It is some protocols is a mentions over it. That is the log based protocols. Different concurrency control protocols offer the different benefits between the amount of concurrency they allow and amount of overheads they impose. So these are the few protocols we have mentioned here. That is the log based protocols, the two phase protocols, timestamp based protocols, and the validation based protocols. So now we will discuss one by one. First protocol is the log based protocols. Okay, first protocols is our log based protocols. So log base is data variables which is associated with the data items, and this log signifies that the operations that can be performed on the data items. Logs helps us synchronize access to the database item by the concurrent transactions. And all logs requests are made to the concurrent control manager. Transactions process only once the log request is the granted. So log is the mechanisms to control concurrent access to a data items when the multiple transactions are accessing the same data items at a time. It may lead to generate some irrelevant data generations. So the data item should be isolated so that it should be accessible in a mutual exclusive manner, that it when one transaction is accessing the data items, no other transaction should be able to access that items. So this can be implemented by a way in which the transaction can access the items only if it is currently hold the lock on the data items. So there is the two ways of the lock. One is the shared and the exclusive. So this log based protocols is works on the binary logs. The binary logs on data items can either lock or the unlock states. So now we will discuss what is a shared and the exclusive lock. So share lock. First we will cover the share lock. Okay, share lock means this the type of the locking mechanism separate the lock based on their uses. If the lock is acquired on the data items to perform the right operation, it is called as the exclusive lock. So what is a share lock? A share lock is also called as a read-only lock with the shared lock. The data items can be shared between the transactions, and this is because you will never have permission to update the data on the data items. So for example, consider a case where the two transactions are reading the account balance for a person. The database will let them ready by placing the share log. However, if the another transactions want to update the account balance, shared log prevent it until their reading process is over. So this way, this logs will work. Okay. So next one is the exclusive log. Exclusive log is represent. It is also called as a read. Sorry, it is also called as a write log. So with the exclusive log, a data items can be read as well as written. This is the exclusive and can't held concurrently on the same data items. X logs, it is represent the X. X log is requested using the log X instructions. Transactions may unlock the data items after finishing the write operations. So this lock is also known as the write lock. This locks is issue a right issue when a transactions need to write or update a data items and there is no lock currently held. So this lock is also known as the manager which grant the locks to transaction. This transaction requests for a lock to this concurrency control manager. So the locking mechanisms allow the reading the data items simultaneously for the various transactions, but allow only one transactions to perform the write operations on these data items. So this way, this transactions, this locking method will work. That is the exclusive lock and the share lock will work. So whenever this concurrency problems is occur, there is again some problems, that is the deadlock. That is a deadlock. So deadlock refer to the specific. This is the major problems whenever we perform this locking mechanisms. That is the shared lock and the exclusive lock. First is the deadlock. Deadlock refers to specific situations where two or more processes are waiting for each other to release the resources, or more than two processes are waiting for the resources in a circular chain. So we have already discussed these things. What is the deadlock situations, when it will be occurs, what happens in a deadlock. So next one is the starvation. Okay, next one situation is the starvations, and starvation is the situations where the transaction needs to wait for the indefinite period to acquire a lock. Okay, so following are the reasons for the starvations. Few reasons are for the starvation, when the waiting schemes for lock items is not properly managed, in the case of resource leak, and the same transaction is selected as a victim repeatedly. So these are the major problems related with your lockings, that is a starvation, shared lock as well as the exclusive lock. So next one method or protocols is two-phase locking protocols. So this is again same one as our previous locking system that we had discussed previously. That is the shared lock and the exclusive lock. So some extra features is added in two-phase locking mechanism. Okay. So this two-phase mechanism locking systems, how it will works, we will see now. This two-phase locking systems is work like two-phase locking protocols. Is also known as the 2PL protocols, and it is also called as the P or P2L. Okay, 2PL or the P2L, one and the same things. And in this type of the locking protocols, the transaction should be acquire the lock after it release one of its lock. This locking protocols divide the execution phase of the transaction into the three different parts. In the first phase, when the transaction is being execute it's required a permissions for the lock it's needed. Then the second parts it release in the second part is where the transactions obtain all the locks when a transaction release its first lock. And the third phase started. In this third phase, the transaction control demand any new lock. Instead, it only release the acquired lock. So this is the one diagrams is showing here related with the two-phase locking. Two major things is given here, mentioned here, that is the growing phase and the shrinking phase. So in the two-phase locking protocols allows each transactions to make a lock or the unlock request in a two phases. That is the growing phase as well as the shrinking phase. So in the growing phase, transactions may obtain lock but may not release any lock. Okay, only the locking request is assigned in this phase. And after the shrinking phase, in this phase, the transaction may release lock but not obtain any new lock. So in the shrinking phase, once the shrinking phase starts, new lock is not assigned in this phase. So this way it will work. And it is true that a 2PL protocol offers reliability. However, it does not ensure the deadlock do not happen. So in these diagrams, you can see that the local and global deadlock detectors are searching for the deadlocks and solve them with the resuming the transactions to their initial states. So these transactions again having the two types, that is a strict two-phase locking method. So in this strict two-phase locking systems, it is almost similar to the 2PL. The only difference is that strict 2PL never release the lock after using it. It's hold all the locks until the commit points and release all the locks at one go when the process is over. And the next one method is that is the Resorcius two-phase locking method. It is same as a two-phase locking method. Only difference is that on share and exclusive lock method, the strict method allow the share lock, but the Resorcius method do not allow the share lock until the commit or abort by any transaction. This is the little bit changes in this second one method. So thank you.